Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking to you about Divergent by Veronica Roth. And since I am super late to the party, just assume that pretty much everything after this point is nothing but spoilers if you haven't read the book. So, bye! So let me start out by saying how embarrassed I am by how long it took me to pick up Divergent. It's been 3 years since it came out. Originally, this came out right after Mockingjay, and I was in a bit of a mourning period. I wasn't really dazzled by the way the Hunger Games ended, and I wasn't quite ready to trust another trilogy again. But after a lot of bullying by my best friend Tyler, he lent me his copy of Divergent, and I blew through it. Guys, oh my god, I love this book! Like, damn my ignorance! Okay, so first thing, look at this cover. It is beautiful! And look at this gorgeous Dauntless symbol on the front. Oh no, the way I judge a book by its cover when it's hardback is what they do underneath the jacket sleeve. If they go that extra mile and actually put something on here, I'm just like, oh, that's money well spent. I like how it was erudite blue and then the Dauntless symbol. I wish that instead of gold it'd been like silvery gray to kind of go with abnegation, because then it just would have been like Triss as the hardback. Oh, like, Oh guys, you don't understand how much I love this. The story started out pretty slowly for me. Triss's life in abnegation was very slow and quiet and muted, sort of like their gray clothes they're forced to wear. And I realized later that that was on purpose. Like, the atmosphere changed as soon as she changed over to Dauntless, and everything got very exciting and terrifying. Just reading about that first day where they go from jumping off of a fully moving train to jumping off a 7-story building into a deep dark pit they can't see the bottom of, on nothing but just a leap of faith, and then they have to fight each other until they're unconscious. Like, the whole book just had my heart beating so fast. I thought Triss's character development was outstanding. She started out very reserved and quiet, but not because that was her personality, but because that's what being raised in abnegation called for. So she wasn't even really sure what her own personality was like when she started out, and she finally had the freedom to just be herself. So getting to see Triss loosen up and build up her confidence was so much fun to watch. I loved seeing her character just unfold and her personality start to shine through. She's got a smart mouth and takes zero crap from people, and as the story went on, she got to see all these different sides to herself. Her compassion, her cleverness, her stubbornness. I loved seeing her transition from these minor acts of defiance, like cheering on Christina when she's dangling over the chasm, to outright threatening to punch Will's sister for insulting her mom on visiting day. When I was reading, the only person I could imagine as Triss was Ivana Lynch, the girl who played Luna Lovegood in Harry Potter. I don't know, she was the first visual I had, and I couldn't really shake that. She's super short, she's pale, she has kind of a longer nose, and these big bluish gray eyes, and she's kind of mousy, and I loved how she was sort of soft-spoken, but I could really see her playing a badass Triss. I plan on watching the actual Divergent movie soon, but I have my reservations about Shailene playing Triss. I just really wanted them to have a short actress for her, and from the trailer, she's the same height as 4. I needed someone who's like barely 5 foot. I would have loved someone who's like 4'8" or something. Oof. I really enjoyed Triss's band of friends. Christina was wonderful. I loved her sass and lack of filter growing up in Candor, and how they would still find time to go shopping and talk about boys between combat practice. Will and Uriah are tied as my favorite friends. They were both these funny, laid-back, big brothery types to her. I was freaking dying when Uriah tried to get her to sit on his lap. I'm like, you're such a dork and I love you. I did not, however, like Al. I felt bad for him at first. He's a gentle giant, but he got annoying pretty quickly. You're in Dauntless. Of course it's going to be hard. What did you think you were signing up for? This isn't Amity. And Triss was such a good friend to him. Like, when she didn't even tell anybody that he came on to her, and then she was super cool about it when she turned him down. And then he turns around, and then as soon as he feels threatened by her success, he teams up with Peter, of all people, to terrorize her. I'm so glad that Triss didn't forgive him. What he did to her was beyond shitty, and she stood up for herself and said, enough. We're done as friends. Stay the hell away from me. I was shocked when he died, but I did not mourn him like I did Will. Peter, oof, I need him dead pronto. I haven't hated a character this much in such a long time, but every time he opened his mouth or he was just mentioned on a page, I was just instantly angry. I could feel my blood pressure raising. I still understand why they couldn't have accidentally pushed him out of the moving train at the end, but I mean, maybe he can just die a horrible, horrible death in Insurgent. I called it early on when that 4 was going to turn out to be Tobias, and I was so freaking happy that I was right. Tobias, my love, you are amazing. His character is so fascinating to me. He comes from this abusive household that shouldn't have been able to exist in abnegation, then plucks up the courage to transfer and excel at Dauntless. I thought it was really interesting that his job of choice, being ranked number 1 in the class, was monitor duty. It was like he was constantly keeping everybody at arm's length. What I enjoyed most about his relationship with Triss was that even in the beginning, before they were even friends really, he never babied her. Everyone thought just because she was small and from abnegation that she wasn't capable of handling herself and she was weak and needed protection, and never even gave her a chance to stand up for herself. And then Tobias comes along and he treats her not only like she's capable, but like she is strong. They're both such tactile people, and it was so interesting to read about all those subtle moments between them as their relationship progressed. Like when Triss squeezed his hand in the hallway for just a second, or when he casually studied her on the railings in the Ferris wheel. All my favorite parts revolved around Triss's badassery. The knife throwing scene, climbing the Ferris wheel, the zip lining off the Hancock building, helping Tobias through his fear landscape, shooting Peter, especially teasing Tobias on day 1. Were you a transfer too? I thought I would only have trouble with the candor asking too many questions. Now I've got stiffs too. It must be because you're so approachable. You know, like a bed of nails. Eric was this unbelievably sadistic jerkface. He would publicly torture people for talking back to him, and he gave me such a stress attack whenever he was in a scene. The Erudite's manipulation of Dauntless was genius. Janine was this cold, calculating mastermind. She was planning a mass genocide for years and was so calm about it. She has no regard for human life and only wants power. As screwed up as it sounds, I'm really intrigued to see what she comes up with next, since that plan sort of failed. That cliffhanger at the end, though. What the heck is going to happen at the Amity Farms with Triss and Tobias? I mean, they're stuck on a train with Marcus and Peter. And then we've got Caleb. I mean, he's not so bad, but They're all either useless or evil, and I would kick them all out of the moving train and cry accident. Overall, I've got to give Divergent by Veronica Roth 5 out of 5 stars. Triss was such an interesting character. I loved reading about her and seeing her discover herself. Tobias has my undying love and respect. The world building was great, the plot was clever and hilarious, and had me bawling my eyes out more than a few times. I cannot wait to start Insurgent. Thanks for watching.